It's day one of getting my life together. Hello Loxy, future Loxy. This is day one. This is the start and the beginning of the rest of your life. Welcome to this moment. Hey YouTube, my name is Loxy and I'm going to be a pop star. I have been writing and making music since I was a toddler, a tiny child. My dream was always to be a singer, it was always to be a songwriter. I reached the grand old age of 18, finished school, did my A-levels, and then was like, okay, what the hell do I do now? I basically wanted to start a series documenting my journey to Popstardom. I'm not joking when I say that, because if there's something that I believe in more than anything else, it's the power of like believing in yourself and manifesting that shit. 8-year-old, 9-year-old me did not have this much self-belief for 20, 19, 21, 22-year-old me to just be like, well, I can't do it anymore. I'm not giving up. I'm going to do it. I think there is so much that I would love to share with the world about what goes into releasing music, making music, and the actual practicalities behind going from making a TikTok in your bedroom to be a legitimate recording artist. The way that the industry is structured right now has its massive pros and its massive cons. If you have a conversation with anyone who's already established within music, they will tell you to stay clear. I'm very committed to the Popstar life. I think I've spent 2 years of my life back and forthing. I've had a lot of change. I've come to a lot of conclusions. I've done a lot of things. I'm now at a stage where I really just have nothing to lose, and I'm all in on this dream and on this goal. As I said before, I started writing music when I was super young. It was never really about the writing until I maybe got into my early teens. It was always just about singing. I just loved singing and I loved performing. I always felt that was what I was made to do. I was always super confident, I was very extroverted, I was very dramatic. Fast forward to the age of 12, I started learning guitar and writing music. Pretty crazy songs to start off with. We had the I Want a Puppy song. In lockdown, I started to write a lot more seriously, taught myself how to play the piano for the first time, and then went on this whole journey of being able to actually write my melodramatic teenage angsty feelings down. If you have no idea about anything to do with the industry, I'd say that the first thing you start doing if you want to take music seriously is meet lots of people who are already doing what you want to do. So whether that's going and doing writing sessions with people or having a recording studio session where you record some of your music and you meet producers or other musicians, that's kind of the first step. It was a massive learning curve for me, and I think that it would be for anyone. It's crazy that artists like Taylor Swift or Lorde were like so young when they went into the industry, because it's such a daunting place for anyone at any age if you're new, just like anything is if you're brand new to something. But I think especially within music, if you go in with basically some pages in a journal and you're like a little girl, it's really scary, and it was for me, and I'm sure it is for most people in my position. I had a few sessions. I went through my first breakup and I wrote 2 songs about that breakup, and then I had another song that I'd written about a year before that I ended up finishing. In my own head, I created an EP, Life's Not Fair. Literally, when I decided that this was going to become something, I was sat babysitting and I was just like, right, I love these 3 songs. This is just going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. I had a friend who was studying graphic design, and I had been introduced to already established producer who had a studio quite local to where I live. And he was like, we could just have a chat, talk about music. We ended up getting along really well. And then I kind of brought these 3 songs to him, and he was like, yeah, if you'd be up for it, we could record them together, which is what we did. I recorded this EP. I didn't release it. I put it onto SoundCloud. Again, it's really hard when you're at this point as an artist and you're so independent. There's being an independent artist and being an established independent artist, like, you know how the industry works and what moves to make. But if you're coming like out of nowhere, you don't know, you've got a few songs, how do you put them out into the world, and should you put them out into the world? Because does that make it feel like this like proper official decision? It's just me sat at home on my laptop. Like, I don't think I can just like put out these songs and like act like I'm Taylor Swift. Do I want to make something out of nothing? Like, how do I approach this? I knew I wasn't going to initially go straight into university because I wanted to see how I could kind of work things out musically. As soon as I leave school, I know I'm not going to go to uni. I want to go as far away as I possibly can from at home. I want to be by the beach. I want to be a surf chick. In my logical mind, I thought the only way to do that was to get on a plane and go the furthest I could possibly go away from home, which is exactly what I did. I went to New Zealand and I lived in New Zealand from January of 2024 to April of 2024. Oh, get me back. Like, the winter is killing me. I went to New Zealand. I was sitting on these 3 songs. I didn't really know what I was going to do with them. It's not exactly an uncommon experience to feel very lost in your early 20s. I really was lost. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. Can't do it anymore. Like, I can't. It just hurts me so much. It just makes me feel like I'm dying. You know, like, I can't handle it. Conclusions I reached when I was away is that I need to go home to do music. I feel this in my brain and in my soul and in myself. I can't just let that go. So I decided to come home, and I was going to come home and spend the summer doing my music, and I wanted to move to London, and I wanted to be a starving artist and sort it all out, and it was all going to be great. And then I came home in the May after going to Thailand for a few weeks on the way back, and that summer was spent feeling very confused again. I've come to this realization that like I can't build a TikTok that I really love until like I know what I want to do. Like I don't feel good at what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not enjoying it, so why am I like trying to make something where I was posting a bit on TikTok. I was trying to figure out like this identity as a singer and as myself. I think I came back from traveling and felt the most lost I'd ever felt, way more than before and way more than when I was there. Like I didn't feel like I had a place here anymore. Like I felt like I didn't really fit. I didn't fit into the box of my friends who had all gone to uni. I didn't fit into the box of the traveller me who had all these dreams but was just like putting them off to, you know, experience life. And I definitely didn't fit my small town schoolgirl persona that I left. As much as keeping the songs on SoundCloud maybe made me look a bit more like mysterious and underground, they weren't getting any traction, and I wanted people to hear them, and I wanted, if nothing else, my friends to be able to add them to their playlists and listen to them. I did on the 13th of August 2024 put out my songs on streaming, and they didn't do that well, but it's okay, because one thing that you'll learn as we get to know each other a bit better is that I'm okay with things not doing well. I'd rather have 50 videos flop and have 50 good videos than have 3 really good videos and that be it. Consistency is the most important thing when it comes to doing anything to do with social media. If you can be consistent and you can have a strong brand and you can know who you are in yourself and who you are as an artist, then you can not only stand behind your work, but you can know that when something does well, that means that you build a brand instead of just launching into one. Anyway, so I released these songs. I started working a waitressing job. It got to September. I was severely unhappy and I was thinking, oh my lord, I've got to quit this job. It's killing me. I hate being at home. I hate this job. I'm in the fridge. Guys, I hate it. I'm dying. I am actually not okay. I'm not even doing music. I want to live in London. I can't afford to live in London. Like, that was a delusional dream. What, am I just going to like pop off to London and work 35 hours a week to cover my rent in a waitressing job? Absolutely don't want to do that. And then I reached Christmas of last year and I decided, right, I'm going to go to uni then. I need to get out of here. I didn't want to study music at uni. Being a pop star or being a singer-songwriter, I don't really think that's something that can be taught. I think that's something that comes from experience. If university was free, I'd go just for fun to do music or whatever. It wouldn't really mean much. It would just be like a bonus. But because of how much uni is in the UK, and I just felt that I would rather have no money and be learning it myself through trial and error and experience and trust that like I can meet the right people if I put myself in the room than to sit in a lecture theatre and learn about how to do it and pay so much money to be there. And something about that didn't sit right with me. And so part of me thought, okay, if I'm going to go to university and if I'm going to use that money to go to uni, I want to do something that I really feel like I would benefit a lot from, which for me would have been a degree like history or politics, because I was really interested in that at school. Fast forward a few months, was miserable again, got a new job working as a barista. I decided I was going to reapply to uni. I then got offered an unconditional offer. And at the time, I thought I was going to have to resit an A-level to be able to get into this course. So when I got this unconditional offer, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to resit my A-levels. Like, I'm a free lady. And what did I decide to do with that free time? Did I decide to put it into music and to face the one thing that I was avoiding? No, I didn't. I decided to go to Sri Lanka for 6 weeks, which I did do. I had the best time, actually. Give me an inch and I'll run a million miles away to another country and by the sea. Came back and had the exact same thing when I came back from New Zealand. Shock, but slightly different because I feel like I was much more mature as a person and was much more hyper focused. TikTok every day. I'm gonna try and do the social media. I'm gonna do as many gigs as I possibly can. I did do quite a few gigs. Within that, I learned so much. The industry at a grassroots level just wants your money. When you don't really have a following, promoters and booking agents and whatever, they just want to get ticket sale money. I thought this was the only option for gigs, and sometimes the more strategic thing is to not play loads of gigs and is to sit and write at home instead and create work you're proud of and send it around to people or upload it onto YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And then something kind of remarkable happened. I decided to just post one of my songs, which had been out like 8 months at the time. A few of the videos did kind of well on TikTok, which was crazy. Bear in mind, they got 15,000 views. They hadn't got millions of views. I wasn't suddenly selling out Wembley, but this is a big deal to me. Like, I want this so much. The idea that 20 people who don't know me personally would listen to my songs and know and want to listen to what I've made is everything I've ever wanted. Like, it fills me up in a way that nothing else ever has. And all of a sudden I had like people genuinely wanting to listen to my songs, and I was like, what is happening? This is my dreams coming true. A little core following is much better than having loads of followers and no one really caring. So I might not have loads of followers then, and I might still not now, but I know one day that I will, and there'll be proper fans that I've built towards through hard work and dedication to what I'm creating. So yeah, it was a big deal when that happened to me, and it really restored my faith that actually if I am consistent, things will change, even if it is at a bit of a micro level. Fast forward to the summer, I decide to go and stay with some family in London for a month. I was like, okay, I'm going to network, I'm going to try and meet people, and I'm going to like do what I haven't done yet, which is move to London. Did I take 2 suitcases full of every single thing I own, thinking I was actually moving in? Yes, I did. Why I suddenly thought I was just going to fully move to London, I don't actually know what I thought. I quickly realised that like being alone in someone else's house is kind of daunting, and being in a city is a lot. Hello, it's Loxie. It's overwhelmed 20-year-old Loxie. So at a loss with how to kind of progress forward. And it's not even like the reality of like the music I want to pursue. It's maybe more that the reality of what I am currently doing. And you go outside in London and you spend 25, 30 quid. And I'd like worked my little barista butt off before to save a few £1,000s. And then all of a sudden overnight, I was almost 50% down. And I was thinking, I'm not getting a job whilst I'm here because I'm only going to be here for a few weeks and I'm going home. And by the time I got home, which was supposed to just be like a week coming home, I was like, I can't do that. That was horrible. I should also note that in 2023, so 2 years ago, my dad built this beautiful room, which is behind me, which I'll pop in a clip of now so you can see it properly. But this is my studio. My dad has always been my biggest cheerleader. I said to him when I was doing my A-levels, like, can you just buy a garden shed? I put all my guitars and stuff in and just make it into a room. He said, nah, no, I'm going to build you a proper room instead. It's still unbelievable to me that he literally created this from nothing. So I came back from London and I realised that that was not sustainable. Made me think, okay, maybe instead of going to uni to do history and politics in a random city in the UK, I should be looking at just doing any course that I can in London. So I can be a student in London, I can get a loan, I can afford to live. And to be honest, I really thought this was a good idea. I spent the summer ruminating on it and I'd found it. I decided, right, this is what I was going to do. I was going to decline my other offer, my unconditional, and I was going to randomly go to a random uni in London. And then I was applying for my student loan and I was like, do you know what? I can't do that. That is so much money. The whole money issue we're going to get back to many a time, because it is no joke trying to be an artist and trying to be a musician. You get 100,000 streams, barely made a few £100. The whole system is completely outrageous and unfair. Create something that does well. If you then play that live, you've got to pay your band, and then you've also got to pay the engineer, and then you've got to, if if you're recording that song with someone, that producer's gonna own a bit of that song, and maybe you've written it with him and then he owns a bit of the writing, and then pay him for his time, and then it's got to be mixed and it's got to be mastered, and everything costs so much money. And I was sat there thinking, this would put me in London going to uni, but no way that I can commit 3 years to doing something that isn't building this from scratch. I don't want to come out of uni with minus money, because I know that would then be used as a reason to not put everything I have into pursuing what I want to do, which is ultimately this. UCAS hates to see me coming. I decided for the 4th time I was going to decline my uni offer. This time it felt a bit different because I chose to do the thing that had scared me the entire time. It was the one thing I was running away from, and it's the one thing that I decided that I couldn't escape from anymore. And that was, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't have any evidence to back it up. It really is just a feeling that I have within myself and within my soul. Trust in fate, tell me. And I'm choosing to trust that. What is the scariest thing I can possibly do? Get my old barista job back and feel like I'm stuck at home. But that would enable me time to really do this properly. I've got to go into London. I live an hour and a bit away from London. It's not difficult to do. I can stay with people. I can go into London for almost for free. I stay for free. I can meet as many people as I can whilst not living here. I can write all the time. I can do my social media stuff all from this room that I have in my garden that I'm blessed to have. I can really do this properly, and I can learn how to do it properly. And I've thought that I was doing this before, but now I really truly am. And it's really scary because I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 months. What if nothing does happen and then this is just it? This is the rest of my life, just floating around. I'm not a float-aroundy person. I'm a go-getter. Everyone I've ever spoken to in music has said, you just write a lot. Do you write? How much do you write? How many songs do you have? Write. I just want to write loads. I have had a very recent revelation that the only way I really ever get anything done is if I do it myself. That's my backstory. I really wanted to just do like an introduction to what this series is kind of going to be about. Every video, I guess, will be slightly different and be doing different things. Okay, so my microphone has died and the audio will now sound different. It's day 1 and I'm already a bad YouTuber. I think it will be really interesting to document this journey in real time, and hopefully you'll find it interesting to like learn the practicalities behind it, because a lot of this stuff I'm still learning and have been learning for 2 years now. I realise that if I want to make this happen, I have to put in a lot of work, and this has to be my whole life for however long that is. It also means that I'm sacrificing a different type of life that maybe I could have had. But I've hit a point where like, I want this so much, I'm gonna go on the journey to get this, and I am willing to put everything into it. It was really nice to meet you. Thanks for clicking on the video. That EP that I have been discussing in this video is out. It's called Life's Not Fair. You can go and listen to it right now on all streaming platforms. I'll leave a link in the description. You can watch the music video for Afterthought. Let me know if you want me to do a video dissecting how I made that EP in more detail, or how I made that video. I'm so excited to meet you. I have so many things where I'm creating and releasing and doing bits and bobs, so feel free to have a look at the links in the description for my Substack or my Patreon, various everything. I'm trying to do everything because I think that's what you have to do if you're going to be a pop girly. I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye! If I had a god, I could trust this feeling. If I had a god, I'd have you.